Body bags were horror lies.
Hello and welcome to Body Bags. My name is James and I'm your Sunday night reviewer. And to finish up our pandemic week, I decided to take a look at the 2006, what's his name? Is it Chris Gorak, the director? Right at Your Door. So, this is in, what was it? LA, I think. It's a great start. Yeah, I think it's LA. A couple have moved there recently. I think they moved there recently. Couple's name, I think it's Brad and Lexi. So Brad is an unemployed musician, and Lexi, she works in one of the city centres somewhere. But anyway, he's just listening to the radio and that in the morning, getting ready. She goes to work. And then you hear of this like thing that's happened. Like there's been an explosion and stuff like that. And obviously he starts to panic. There's loads of stuff about it on the radio. And he looks out the window, goes out the front, and he sees like there's cars driving around everywhere, like quite fast. So he decides to try and drive down there. He's hearing all this stuff and he's like panicking. You can see there's all smoke in the distance and things like that. He's trying to get to her, but actually no, first he goes to a shop. It's like a hardware shop, because he gets a puncture on the way, because he sees this woman, and this woman, she's like kind of in her car, and they kind of almost have a crash together. And she's like, yeah, she's just checking he's okay, and she's like, oh, my kids are at school, so she's rushing off to get her children. And yeah, so he goes to a hardware store. He gets like all this duct tape in the end and stuff like that, and bits and pieces. And yeah, he tries to get to where his wife works, but all the streets are getting blocked off by police and things like that. Yeah, it's just police at this time actually. And yeah, he's trying to kind of, I need to get to my wife and stuff like that. And this one, he gets pulled over by the police at one point, and then this other car comes from the other way, all covered in this dust, and he's just like, what's going on? And the police are telling this guy to get back in the car, not move. He tries to run, and they shoot him. So obviously this freaks Brad out a bit. It's like, holy shit, what's going on here? They just shot an innocent guy. So he goes back home. He's trying to phone Lexi, but she's not picking up. So he's kind of in a bit of shock. But then there's no, it's not a neighbour. It's a guy that works next door's garden or something like that. He comes in the house, and he's like, what are you doing in my house? He's like, he's been listening to radio as well. He's like, look, we have to seal this house. It's like a chemical attack or something like that in this explosion and stuff. It's like, we have to seal the house, otherwise we'll die. We've been told to seal. So they seal up the house. They have all this plastic sheeting everywhere and all this duct tape, so all the windows are sealed. It's completely blocked in. Got me pretty uncomfortable because it's like summertime, I think, very hot in LA. So anyway, he's still trying to phone like Lexi, his wife, and her parents are calling him. And he's like, yeah, we're all fine, but he's starting to like get really upset, hangs up the phone, and just bits like that. Like the gardener's trying to phone his family and stuff, like his wife, and that is not getting through. So yeah, they just listen to the radio, and Lexi, she makes it back. She's like covered in dust and all stuff like that. And she's trying to get in the house, and she's super pissed. She actually breaks the window, you know, one of the window panels in the door, the front door or something, trying to get in. So he's like, shit. So he kind of tells her to stop it, blocks it all off, and then he's like, you can see after a little bit after he's washing himself in bleach and that, because he's like just come into contact with her, and it's like, shit, she's come from downtown where all this chemical stuff is from. Yeah, so he's talking with her and stuff like that, and what he actually does is he reseals the bedroom door, and so she can come in the bedroom. So he reseals the door, and then she can rip down the all the plastic sheeting out from outside, so come in and at least she has the bedroom and stuff like that, and he's still sealed in the house, sort of thing. Oh, when does it happen now? There's this little boy, Timmy or something, and Brad sees him at one point when he's driving around, and he tells him to go home, but then Lexi sees him, and like obviously he's still just walking around, so Lexi takes him in. She's like, come here with us. So then he's in the room as well, so that she's looking after the boy. And then the neighbor, the neighbor's worker, the gardener, he's like, I need to go, I just need to see my wife, I need to get out of here, I have to see my wife. It's like, so he leaves. So again, like, he's gone through one of the rooms, so he reseals it up, and then he breaks the seal, goes out. So his house is getting a little bit smaller for him. But anyway, this is going on for a while. What's his name? Well, anyway, basically, I think it's one of the workers who she works with. He comes to the house, and he's like, look, there's things down, I think down at the dock or something like that, he says, and there's like there's medical things, and there's like a boat or something going somewhere. It's like we can go, we have to go, we got to get help. So Lexi decides to go. Brad doesn't want her to go. She's like, look, fuck you, you're okay, you're playing God, I'm not okay, I'm dying, we're all dying, so I've got to go and do this. So Brad's just there left on his own. A bit of time goes, and Lexi actually comes back, and she's like, look, it just was not good. It's very good they took the children and given the children these vaccinations and stuff like that, but they weren't doing anything for the adults. And she said the guy that came to get her, he tried to like jump the van or something and drive off and that, and they all got shot, 5 of the guys or something like that. So she said it's just, they're not helping down there, they're helping the children, but this isn't as it should be. They're not medical helping people, they're all military. So that isn't good. Yeah, so then they're just talking and bits like that. She's actually has like a last phone call sort of thing with her brother. She can't face her parents, and yeah, talking with her brother, things like that. She's getting upset, she's coughing loads now. And then she hears some more noises, like in the garden, like I think someone's trying to get in or something, looking at the tree, and then all the birds are dying, they're starting to like drop on the floor and stuff like that. And then a little bit earlier on, when Lexi was away, there's some military came to the door, and they got a sample from inside the house. This is going to go very much into spoiler now, by the way. I'm going into a little bit more detail with this one. I decided it'd be good for this week. But anyway, so this is real spoiler territory. So they took a sample of inside his house and stuff like that. Like, he managed to put some in a bag and then put it against one of the plastic things where the window pane was broken, and then reseal a bigger bag over the top, and they took it out and did some tests. Then they put this red placard on the house. So when Lexi came back, she's like, what is this? And he's like, well, I don't know, it doesn't matter, I don't know what this is. And so yeah, that all happened. And the military come back and they drag Lexi away. So Brady's freaking out. He's like, what are you doing with my wife? He's like shouting at them, stuff like that. He manages to calm down a little bit. And then what happens, one of the military men come to the door. He's like, well, what you did sealing your wife outside from the house is you've actually saved her, because the levels in your house are now irreversibly toxic. They've mutated, and they are lethal, and you're basically going to die. He's like, what? This can't be. So kind of like how it's from where Lexi broke the glass in the door panel. So it's the what she brought back, unfortunately. And so yeah, that sealed the fate. So once he has this explained to him, they, with like nail guns, put all these panels all over the windows of the house, and they drill this hole in and start gassing him, basically. I guess it's to neutralize whatever airborne virus is in there, but they're killing him. They've even said it's like, look, we can't do anything, I'm sorry. And so rather than even waiting for him to die or give him any kind of comfort, they're just gassing the poor guy. But he manages to kick one of the panels away, and he's got this kind of, I think it's when you like have your house fumigated, it's like this kind of like, it looks like a big circus tent they put over the house. So they have that there for where they're gassing him. So he's trying to get out, like Lex is down the bottom, she's trying to shout to him and stuff like that, and they just whack him with the butt of the gun to kind of like knock him out at the military, because he's trying to get through, obviously. And then yeah, the next scene you see her, she's like sat in the back of the ambulance, and they're like, they've explained like, your husband's dead already. And it's like, you have a little prayer, I think, something like that to say. It's like to see if, to hope that you survive. Obviously she's been downtown and stuff like that, but something about it being out in the open, in the air. I think because his house was so hot and it was all sealed, that's how it mutated the strain. No, that's what they say in the film. Anyway, and so yeah, that's where we're left. We don't really know anything about like the bomb or anything like that. Yeah, it doesn't really fill anything in, but it doesn't need to really, this sort of film. We follow Brad. We're always with Brad. It's like different people come and go, but we follow Brad. So when Lexi goes, it's just Brad at the house. And then it's different people coming back. So it's kind of, apart from the driving around a bit at the start, it's a very contained film. Everything is like in the house sort of thing, which is very cool, actually. I like that. It didn't kind of cut away. So you kind of, when he's getting worse, more paranoid, more upset, more hot, more stressed, it's like we're going through all that with him. And like the stress of like not being able to hold his wife and things like that and be with his wife, it's like, it's really good feeling. No, not really good feeling, sorry, it's you feel all these things, kind of, you start to like being in these contained environments with our people, with our actors in this film, with our characters. So yeah, that's the end of the film. That's the end of the review. I saw this one quite a few years ago, and I kind of wanted to revisit it, which is why I decided to do it for this week. It's a pretty entertaining film. Factually, I don't know how it all is. Obviously, they did some research in the film, but I don't know how factually it is. These things plausible. It seems okay. Like things mutating and like being out. So yeah, how it is how it is. It's an enjoyable movie, and I'd recommend checking it out. And anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy your week, and I'll catch you next Sunday. Bye-bye.